What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. Hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Incinerate, entitled Eradicating Terrestrial Species. This is released on Comatose Music. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Maplewood, Minnesota, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very technical, blasphemous, and brutal style of death metal. This has been a band that has had a pretty tumultuous run over the course of the last 10 plus years or so when it comes to releasing music, band member lineup changes, and a whole 9 yards of other things. But in that amount of time, they've put out some pretty solid music. This is one of those bands that definitely represented the early era of the Brutal Bands label. Of course, a record label that you would best be synonymous with bands such as Amagortis, Devourment, Guttural Secrete, Abominable Putridity, and of course the first couple of releases from Incinerate. I mean, their 2002 debut, Dissecting the Angels, had a bit of a blasphemous, deicide-esque sort of quality to their lyrical content and visual aspects. Music-wise, I thought it was pretty decent, nothing too special, but I thought it had some pretty good songs to go along with it. But then in 2008, this band definitely got a lot better with their album Anatomize. I thought that album had some much better things going for it. Better artwork, better visuals, better music, better songwriting. And of course, ever since the release of those records, there's been a lot of lineup changes and assorted other things going on with this band. I mean, I even had the privilege of getting to see these guys live in last year at Building Temples from Deathfest. I thought they were absolutely awesome. But now going into this album, this is their first album in almost 7 years, and there's a pretty much revised and revamped lineup of sorts. Of course, this pretty much includes people from all across the country, the US and Canada to be specific. And we now have the third full-length from Incinerate entitled Eradicating Terrestrial Species. It's 9 tracks, and it clocks in at around 30 minutes in length, and pretty much this is the Incinerate album that I believe many fans of this band were meant to hear for a very long time. This album definitely is a reawakening of sorts for the band. Musically, lyrically, professionally, I definitely think that there is a lot of great things going for it, especially when it comes to this album's concept. Of course, the concept seems a little bit tried and true, going towards a more science fiction sort of territory when it comes to the lyrical content and ideas. I mean, you get the audio samples, the little bits of atmosphere and noise to be heard in certain bits and pieces in this record, but once you get to the actual music, I definitely think it's very much the most entertaining aspect of this release. And musically, I think this is a total barn burner. I love the way the music is being handled here. I mean, take the tracks in Human Inoculation and From Distant Worlds. Just the technicality going with the guitar work just really sounds amazing. I love the greatness of the riffs. I definitely appreciate the attention to detail being presented here. I definitely think it sounds awesome. It has that nice little crunch and bite to it, especially when it comes to the more brutal sort of slam-esque sort of parts where it begins to take different twists and turns throughout the release. I definitely think these riffs sound awesome. The bass work is great too. I definitely think there's a little bit of a technical prowess being presented when it comes to the bass work. Very audible and clear, not too audible to where it seems overly dominant, but I still think it gets the job done very well here throughout this entire album, and definitely lays a very smooth foundation all the way throughout. Drum-wise, I definitely think this drummer puts on a clinic here. I definitely love how fast this drummer is, and definitely maintains a great pace all the way throughout. Lots and lots of usage of blast beats and fills and rolls. Lots of great syncopation and creativity. Very great pace all the way throughout this entire record, and I think this drummer definitely knows exactly what he's doing. Once again, going to tracks like Inhuman Inoculation and then tracks like Unable to Ascend. Some of the lengthier tracks on this album definitely bring out the best in Darren Seska's drum work, and I definitely think that he does tremendous work here with this album and delivers a very awesome performance. And when it comes to the vocals, I definitely love the vocals that Jesse brings here. He has been one of the soul and and founding members of this band, and I definitely think his vocal delivery is very entertaining. It's mainly, more likely than anything, pretty much a guttural tone all the way throughout, very low, very booming, but yet you can definitely understand what he says. There are moments where it does feel a little bit undecipherable at times, but yet the moments where you hear his vocals begin to enunciate a little bit further, and then you get a little bit of a scream going in certain aspects. I definitely think his vocals sound really awesome here. I believe there's some stuff to be found towards the end of this record. I believe on the track, what do you call it? I believe the closing track, Fucking the Rotting Nun, that is a song that I believe was on the first album, Dissecting the Angels, but I think it was redone. I think it seems a little bit out of place. I don't know about you, but I think that it kind of seems out of place in the grand scheme of this album's sci-fi sort of concept. I think it's a great song, I think it's a great reworking, but I definitely feel it's a little bit out of place. But I don't know, that's just my crazy opinion on things. And there's a special little cover at the end of the album. You may want to keep an ear out for it towards the very end. I think it's pretty cool, I would say. So, overall, if you're a fan of what Incinerate has put out previously, if you are a fan of brutal technical death metal with sci-fi blasphemous sort of themes, I definitely think Incinerate have returned with the sound that they were meant to sound like. I definitely think that this is a definite step up over previous releases. I definitely think it's a fun little album to listen to. It's short-paced, it doesn't go on too long, and I definitely think that anybody who is a fan of Incinerate will find something to enjoy with this album. So, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Inhuman Inoculation, From Distant Wounds, Unable to Ascend, Cultivation of Human Offspring, and The Berserker. So, I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will link you to the Comatose web store where you can purchase a physical copy of the CD. It's only $10. There are also t-shirt and, tank top options, combo deals, whatever you want to get. There are many ways to get a hold of this CD, and if you happen to live in the Netherlands from April 17th to the 19th, you can definitely check out Incinerate, as they will be playing Neurotic Death Fest in the Netherlands. They are going to be joining a who's who of great death metal outfits, Broken Hope, Dead Congregation, Immolation, Cardiac Arrest, Obituary, the list goes on and on. Definitely check out Incinerate if you intend on going to Neurotic Death Fest. So, let me show you the album again. This is, and by the way, John Zig did the artwork for this, and I think it's a great piece of art to look at. Again, the album is Eradicating Terrestrial Species by Incinerate. This is released on Comatose Music. Definitely support this. And for a score, I'm going to give this a pretty solid 8 out of 10. I definitely think that this is one of the best things Incinerate has done, and I definitely look forward to hearing more from this project as time goes by. Hopefully we don't have to wait another 7 or 6 years for this band to put out another album. I definitely think there's more left to be heard from this band, so support Incinerate. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Armijo out.